Welcome to the You Go First podcast. This is the place where we bring together thought leaders, business pioneers, personal development gurus, and just about any person we discover that will inspire and compel you to go first in all areas of your life. Please welcome keynote speaker, philanthropist, and the official head dream chaser for Odyssey Teams, Inc., our host, Lane Hensley.
You go first.
No, you go first.
I will go first.
All right,
I will. And so listeners out there, we're so excited to be offering another installment of You Go First. We are absolutely thrilled to have the brand new, well, not brand new, you started in July, president of my alma mater, Chico State, Steve Perez. Welcome to the You Go First podcast studio.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I have been looking forward to talking with you and looking forward to talking with your listeners.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Well, a little bit about you. I know, let's see, you're the 13th president of Chico State, so congrats on that. I know you've been interim provost, not only at Chico, but at other universities, and you were that for a little, probably with Gail, our
I
guest.
Worked for Gail for her last 6 months, my first 6 months.
She was a big fan of the show. I knew her a long time, so big shoes to fill. I know you're doing a great job at that. VP of Academic Affairs. I think 2022, you were the interim president at San Jose State.
That's right.
Let's see. I know maybe challenging times in 2022, but I heard you did great things, and so kept them on the upswing. VP of Academic Affairs at Sac State. I knew you were at Sac State for a long time, so 2 decades there?
20 years. Yep,
that is 20 years. Thank you for that. I was
quick
what's
math.
A decade again? Century? Different.
Yeah.
So 2 centuries at Sac State.
Some days it felt like that, yes.
I'm sure. I went to American River in Sacramento, so a lot of my friends were at Sac State and had some great times around there. Beautiful town. Love the river, downtown. Just a great place to be for sure. So we're happy to have you up here. Let's see more about you. You were the president of Special Projects, interim dean of California, the Association of Business, right?
College of Business.
College of Business. There we go. Interim provost there, maybe?
Yep.
Let's keep racking it up. Now, let's do the economics. Macroeconomics, some econometrics or something.
Econometrics.
Econometrics.
Yep, statistical analysis for economists.
Okay. That's helpful. Thank you. Yeah. So something with numbers and letters and making it all make sense. And sports economics, labor economics.
That's right.
And so obviously you got a good brain for mathematics, I'm assuming, and applying those things.
Yep.
Good for you. And let's see. So now that you got the job, you're here. I know you decided that you and your wife Tanya would live on campus or right by campus. I think you're actually in the Julia Morgan house.
We're in the house designed by Julia Morgan. It is on campus. One of our backyard walls is one of our science buildings. Right across the walkway behind our back fence is Big Chico Creek, which is raging through campus now. And then we got 2 of our residence halls right on the other side of our backyard.
Awesome. And I think you kind of live upstairs, but special events downstairs. I know, what is it? The Albert E. Warren Center.
That's right.
In your living room. I'm going to give my living room a fancy name like that.
You should. It's my wife and I were coming. I went and welcomed the FFA students from all over the state last Saturday in Laxon. And so it's a very easy commute for me. I got to choose which bridge to cross the creek on every day. So
love it.
We're coming back across the bridge. My wife, and she's right. She said, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. We get to live right on campus, right in the heart of a wonderful community like Chico. We get to see everything, be involved in everything. And what other chance do you get to do something like this?
Yeah.
And I mentioned to you earlier, it's 95% awesome, 5% a little bit weird.
I'm sure.
And so we've gotten used to it. Yeah.
Be careful what you wear downstairs because there might be a caterer or something.
And the whole house is windows too. So there's very little privacy in the place.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the house before. I was lucky enough to do a commencement speech a number of years ago. And as a distinguished alumni, some special events in the house. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's a fantastic
It's
place.
not haunted, is it?
I don't know. So the way I look at it, if it is, maybe it's 50%. It's a nice ghost. 50%, maybe not. So your odds are not bad.
Well, I'm a longtime resident in Chico, moved here 89.
Okay.
My wife graduated from the nursing program. My mom graduated from there as an educator. Pretty much everybody at Odyssey went to Chico State, graduated from there. So it's a beautiful place. We're happy to have you here.
Well, we feel very fortunate to have the opportunity. It's been fantastic.
Awesome. Well, I want this to feel like, we've just met. Just like everybody in Chico, is who's this new president? And I want to get to know him a little bit. So just give us a sense of what's going on in your life, you personally, how you feeling about being in Chico? I know you have boys, where are they? How old are they? And then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of like your leadership style and the projects you might have for the university and for its impact on the town. I mean, the university is a huge part of our town. So, but tell us about yourself.
I'd be happy to. I was born in Washington, D.C., but spent most of my life in California. We lived in Southern California for a while, in the Bay Area for a while. I went back to Southern Cal. I was an undergrad at UC San Diego, where I was on the baseball team for a couple of years. Didn't play very much. But,
that's a good. I like that.
On the team.
I was tracking that.
And I loved it.
You played left out.
I did.
Yeah,
but I was good at it. And then my coach one day said, "You know what? Maybe you just study." So then I was an economics major after that, and my life's turned out okay. But I loved the experience there. Came and worked in the Bay Area, decided I wanted to go back to graduate school, went to UC Davis, then went away, got married. My first job was in Virginia, at Virginia Commonwealth University, and then I was a professor at Washington State University. And that's where my wife and I first lived in a college town for the first time. And we loved everything about it. We could walk everywhere. We knew everybody in town. Our younger son was born there in the hospital right on campus. And we knew that if we stayed there, a couple of things were going to be true. They were never going to go anywhere in town where we weren't going to know somebody. And it was going to be hard for them to live in town after they grew up. There's not much going on in Pullman other than the university.
Well, that's a little like Chico.
Yeah. But what we really learned was what a great place living in a college town, living in a place that revolves around higher ed, and what's going on campus is. And so when we got the opportunity to come back to Northern California, where both of our families were, we jumped at it. And that's when we started at Sacramento State in 2001. Started there as a professor, but when we moved there, we chose to live in Davis so we could still have that college town experience.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where our boys grew up, in Davis. They're now gone and out of the house. I miss them terribly, a lot. But they're doing really well. One's in Eugene, the other one lives in San Francisco, and turned into great young people.
Nice. Well, I'm not surprised. Just in the short time we've gotten to know each other.
I think
I almost hear a little rumbling here. We're in Chico. It's President's Day, although. So you're the president.
Different kind of president, but yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But apropos, and I think I hear even it's just like really pouring down rain outside.
And
so
we may get some
welcome
thunder
to
too.
Chico, rain and thunder. It gets to be 115 degrees here in the summer sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, good. They told you that.
Yeah, the difference is it doesn't cool down very much at night.
No, it really doesn't. Yeah. So you've been here since July. You started, I think, officially July 1st was your passing the torch.
That was the first day as president, but I was interim provost for 6 months prior to that. So I came here a year ago, January.
Yeah. Okay. So you got some time now that you've been here. Just, what are some of the things you've discovered that are surprised you as far as, wow, really great things going on? I know we've got another new building going in, I saw, and I know there was a lot of new construction over the years, but what are things that you're learning about the faculty or the facility that now you know more now that you're the president? And of course, we want to know, what's the future look like? What are things you're working on?
Sure. No, not a lot surprised me. I've been in the CSU for a long time, so I know sort of how things work. I've been in college towns, as I said, for a reasonable number of years, so I know what the little towns are like and what it's like to live in these. What surprised me and my wife as well was how much people really, really, really care about Chico. My kids grew up with other kids that went to Chico, came home. I lived and worked with people, and they uniformly loved being Chico State students. I can't think of a single person I've ever met that said I hated it there. People come away from Chico with a real soft spot in our heart for them, and it shows. And the moment we got here, you could feel it. It's a visceral feeling about how proud people are, how much they care about the town, how much they care about the university. So I don't know if surprise is the right word, but certainly overwhelming in a lot of ways, and really, really nice in really good ways. So coming here, we got our challenges, budget challenges, enrollment challenges, and things like that. But I got every bit of confidence that this is a group of people, this is a place that we can do really, really great things. And so looking forward to working with everybody the next number of years. Yeah.
Boy, lots of thoughts going on for sure. I always say all roads lead to Chico. I travel, of course, doing my leadership development stuff. I was in Austin just the other day, and 200 people from Merck, top tier leadership people, and somebody comes up, they're like, how's Bidwell Park?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, what's going on? He's like, my daughter just graduated from there a couple of years ago. Another guy asked me, oh, do you know Dr. Ritchie? A doctor? Oh, my wife worked for him. My wife was a nurse, and is still a nurse in Chico. So there's a sense of pride for sure.
Absolutely.
Whether you stay here or not, wherever I go in the world, people are like, oh, is the bear still there? And there's just these iconic memories of Bidwell Park, the bear, the downtown market, the Sunday, the markets, the Friday night or Saturday night downtown. It's amazing. And
I'd say more so than any place I've ever been. And that feels really good.
Yeah. Well, as you know, as the leader of Chico State, there's a lot of people watching.
Sure.
Because Chico has a huge impact on our town, whether, they're pursuing this or that or helping attract people. We love to attract people to come to school here. My daughters both went off to school because they were born and raised here. But now my daughter lives a mile from us and we barely see her. And there's a part of me that's like, I kind of wish she didn't have a great experience at NAU. She was a COVID kid and it was just isolation and all the stuff every other kid went through,
right?
That has been through the COVID college experience or high school experience or you name it. And there's this connection that is happening here. And now that she's in town, I kind of wish she had just gone here.
Yeah. Well, we wish that too, but everyone finds their way.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we made that investment and it's been awesome. She graduated in marketing. My other daughter went to ASU and she graduated with all kinds of degrees in bioscience and marketing and business and things like that. They just very well educated kids. And there's some pressure on education right now it's expensive. I know it was like $1,200 or $800 a semester when I was here. That's an investment.
Yep.
But there's a huge return on that. Not just the network I had, most of the people at Chico I'm still in touch with and work at a company or the network of it. Not only that, one of my professors lives across the street and we're close and I still reach out to my business law teacher for advice. He's been retired for years. If I have advice on what to do at Odyssey, there's something special about those connections. What do you think is like some of the biggest ROI that you see for the students coming through Chico State right now?
There's a couple of things students get from Chico State, and we'll talk a little bit. We're very, very proud of what we do and the cost of what we do. The cost for our students. We try as hard as we possibly can to keep our costs as low as we possibly can. I think we're the lowest average debt ratio of any school in the state of California for students that graduate from Chico State, and like number 4 in the country. So coming out of Chico State, it's pretty impressive.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
But I think you're also prepared to do some really, really great things. What we hear from employers is our students are well prepared. They know what they're doing. They know how to work, but they're also extremely adept at socially interacting with other people. And so if you're looking to hire somebody, those are the students that you want in whatever discipline you're talking about. They can work as a part of a team. They can work with others. They can go out and do a sales call pretty effectively. And so I think higher ed in general, there is certainly a debate going on among a lot of people about the cost of higher ed, the debt levels that come out. As you said, what's the return on investment? We think we've got a pretty good deal here. And what our students turn into after we get a little bit of time to spend with them is really fantastic. And uniformly, people just love them.
Well, it was life-changing for me.
Yeah.
Once I got to a place where the professors, your friends are your teachers and your teachers are your friends. Like when you really make those connections beyond the high school experience, where your teachers have to maintain that sort of professional relationship. And then you get into the college experience and you realize like, these are actually cool people that I'm learning a ton about, not only subjects, but about myself.
Yeah.
And then they helped me start our company. They helped us grow that business, those relationships that we have from them. And so I'm a huge fan, of course, of what higher ed. When it finally clicked for me, like, I just want to be educated. Like I had dropped out for a while and I was hanging around with some people that were in college. And I was like, these people talk different than the people I'm hanging. Like I want to discuss politics and national issues and know things about economics and business law. And those things have served me so well. And so as we look out and go, okay, here, you're one of the key leaders now in the university. Of course, you have a huge team around you that makes it all happen. But, the buck stops at the president. What are some of when they hired you, to boast a little about yourself, if you can, like, What do you think are the qualities that have made you a great leader, whether it's coaching your kids in the baseball or playing baseball? I know you're an avid baseball player. Or just as you look at problem solving, what are your leadership styles that you think people can learn from?
It's an interesting question. Whether it's effective or not, we'll find out, right? But I've been a part of a lot of team sports. I love them. I loved every minute. As I told you, I was on the baseball team, didn't play very much, but I loved going to practice. I loved hanging out with my teammates. I like having a common goal, a common understanding of what we're trying to achieve, and we all play our roles. We all try to figure out what do we do to help move whatever part of team or organization we're part of. How do we move it towards where we're trying to go? Mm-hmm. And when you got a good team, you sacrifice for each other, you support each other's success. That feels good. That's a great feeling to be a part of. Mm-hmm. It's no different in higher ed, for me at least, when we're looking at, well, how are we going to work with our budget? How are we going to figure out, how do we get our students to have an even better experience at Chico State than they've had in the past? How do we better engage with our alums? How do we better serve the North State as its hub for education, economic activity? How do we do all of those things? That's what we are. That's what our jobs are as a university. Well, how do we work together to make that happen? And that's what we're going to talk about. That's how we're going to have conversations. And it's all about how do we make sure that we're always pointed towards why we exist? What do we do? How are we going to be successful? Those sorts of things. It's way more fun for me if we're doing it as a team. Yeah. And I think it comes from playing a lot of team sports when I was a kid.
Yeah. I
agree. Coaching a lot of my kids' sports.
We had Coach David Niffen, the head coach of UC Irvine, was on the show a number of years ago. I'm still working with that team. And it's challenging, at least in athletics. You get to be a national champion or to be at your highest level, you have to have a lot of good players. And not all those great players are on the court or on the field. And so, you have a lot of great members of your organization. Some might be the ones that, maintain the facility.
That's right.
The garbage collectors, they think, oh, I'm just the garbage collector, but go on a campus that doesn't have clean facilities.
And see how your students feel when that's
immediately.
The case. Exactly.
It represents the community. People are proud around Chico. Like you said, when I'm walking down the streets, if I see a piece of trash on the ground, I'm like, oh, I'll pick that trash up. Like there's a sense of pride from that level of the organization to people that are dealing with massive budgets, or how do we improve the dorms and how do we engage our community? I don't even know, is there a Greek life at all at Chico? I know there is a few Greek houses that do great stuff in town, but how active is that part of the community?
I think so. Number of things you said really resonated with me.
Yeah. Take your pick.
Universities are really big. Really, really big organizations because they need to be. Mm-hmm. You think immediately about your classes. You talk about your professors. We've got fantastic faculty that, as you said, are still engaged with you decades after the time that you were here because it's
incredible.
They care deeply about our students. It's really, really special. For faculty to be successful in class, we have to have our classrooms. Our power has to be on. Our internet has to be working. We've got to have a police force that helps keep it safe. So there's all the other aspects of the university that run to keep everything going, and everybody plays that role in how do we make sure that our students have a great experience. You'd asked about our Greek life. We got a pretty active Greek life. I walked down through South Campus, and you can see it pretty vividly. I heard them the other Thursday night when I was going to have dinner at the Fifth Street Steakhouse. You could hear them down the street.
Yeah, right there.
And they're enjoying themselves, and that's fantastic. And the ability to get, we're a big school. If you can take a big school, turn it into a small school, or if you get our students into small communities, be they a Greek community, be they an affinity group that built around culture, student athletes. I didn't join a fraternity when I went to college because I was immediately around 30 people every day for 3 days, hours a day.
Yeah.
Right. How do you take a big school, make it a small school for each of our students so that they have a community that they can lean on? That's one of the really great things about universities. I think we do a really good job of it here.
Yeah. Well, research says people want three things. They want a career, they want a community, and they want a cause.
Yeah. And
I found all those things.
Yeah.
And like you said, you brought up like I said, these educators, Laura McLaughlin, tons of people know her in town. She had cancer. I had cancer a number of years ago. She was a huge resource for me. She went through a Women with Cancer Survivors Retreat that I put on for 18 years before I had cancer. I used to do this retreat.
Wow.
And these full circle relationships. She lives maybe a mile away from me. And how, like I said, you get to this point where it becomes this connection. And that's what Chico State is for people. That's what this town is, a place to connect. And I know there's an energetic difference when you walk around Chico. People are organically like, good morning or hi. You know, like we actually wave at each other.
They look each other in the eyes when they're walking down the street. Yeah,
you know,
it feels
and then
good.
the further south you get, the more it's like, why did you just wave at me? Is something wrong here? And I love that. It's so beautiful. And, you know, so we're talking about kind of how do you create that community on campus where an incoming freshman feels like I found home. So they could be in the dorms. Yep. I know the dorms. I've known many people that have run the dorm system. How's that part of the university doing? Are there any new dorms being built or anything like that? So if we're connecting them, Greek life, athletics, the dorm, what are other special events that I don't know about that help onboard our new incoming students?
We've got probably over 100 student organizations and clubs. So if you're interested in something, we probably have a club that's related to it that somebody else is going to be interested in. Just last week, I did a video with our Dairy Sciences and Industry Club. And it's down on our farm. Awesome. And they taught me how to milk a cow.
Nice.
And it was awesome. It was super cool. I did another video with our Baja SAE club that builds little Baja race cars and then competes against, internationally competes against other schools. And so we've got a student philanthropy council where they come together and talk about how to raise money from their students for our students. And so we got all kinds of different organizations.
Nice.
If you're interested in something, we probably have some other people on campus that are as well. And they're already talking to each other. And so it is really a really great culture in that way. Our housing, they do a fantastic job of trying to hook each other up within the floors, within the suites, making sure they got people there to support them.
Yeah. Well, the internet, I mean, COVID was terrible, but it did create a virtual platform. We're in the podcast studio here, which is also where I deliver virtually to, 45 countries the other day through this Oracle Women's Leadership Program and beaming out across the world. And so it's been some nice blessings with how to connect people, but we have more opportunity to connect, but in some ways less connection than we've ever had. Kids are suffering with isolation issues and drug and alcohol abuse and just feeling alone. And what saved me in college was I found a best friend in class, Rand Smith, showed me where the counseling office was. Like, hey, how do you do school? And the counseling office at Chico State was so awesome. So the message I got from college is don't just put your blinders on and just disappear. There are so many resources that are ready to help you if you just ask for that help.
It's hard though. It's hard for anybody to say, I need help. It's even harder for a young adult who's never been to college, doesn't really know what to ask for, what's out there. Sometimes it's hard for students to say, I need a little help. I think it's getting easier. We try to actively go out and say, here are things that you might be interesting to you or that you might need. And I hope that's successful. But it is a challenge sometimes to figure out if you're an 18-year-old. I had a student one time. It was a student government person. This was at Sac State, and I was provost. And I went and talked with the board. And the student raised his hand and he said, 3 months ago, we were in high school, and we had to raise our hand to go to the bathroom. And now, 3 months later, you expect us to know how to do everything.
Wow.
And that really resonated with me, that we really do need to make sure that we're putting in front of our students, here are your opportunities, here are things that we can do to help you. Here are some challenges we know you're probably facing that you might not even really fully realize you're facing right now. We got to be much more proactive and active in getting out and talking with our students.
Yeah. Wow. And at college, you can just get up and walk out of class and never come back.
Yeah.
And that's where, college becomes about you and not just for your parents.
Sure.
Because the teacher, needs you to be in class to get paid, or whoever high school budgets work.
Right.
It's like they need you to show up for school. And college is for you.
Mm-hmm.
They make this huge investment in yourself. You set aside this chunk of time in your life that flies by, whether it's 4 years or 6. Let's say it took me 6, around there.
Everybody finds their way.
I found my way. I had to pay the bills and, work construction, but it's who you become through the experience of really struggling and working for something that you want.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Baja Club, and I know there's a lot of push toward offering the trades, those kinds of trades, whether it's through a club or through the university, through whether it's economics or whether it's welding or whatever. Is there any new programs going on to kind of hit some of that stuff?
Well, we just started a graduate degree in data analysis and data sciences. We've got all kinds of new programs that are coming out, and we're talking about how we combine other different programs. We just combined, as soon as I signed the paperwork, I think we just combined computer animation and game design with another program we've got. We're moving it across colleges. Try to think about how do we do things in an innovative way that meet the demands that our students want, right? What classes do they want to take? What programs do they want to take? But also serve both our region and the state for employment purposes.
Yeah.
What does our state need?
Something right there just sparked a question I have to ask is AI, Chat GPT, all that stuff. Some people are saying like, hey, the universities that sort of figure out how to use that as an asset as opposed to like, don't use this. It's like cheat, it is cheating if you just straight up say, hey, write me a paper that's got these 10 words in it. But it's a part of reality, in our business. Hey, should we use AI or ChatGPT to help us with our marketing strategies, business plan? What do you think that's going to do to the way we leverage knowledge and the collection of it?
Yeah,
you don't have to even have the answer. It's so new, but maybe you got one.
Well, we don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And the other part is by the time I finish the sentence, my answer might be wrong because things are moving so quickly. But it's a technology. It's a thing that we're going to have to figure out how to leverage and use well. Mm-hmm. I liken it back to when you couldn't use a calculator on a test, in a math test. Same thing. Right? But you can now because calculators are part of our life. Yeah. But you got to use it responsibly. If you use it to generate something, you say, I used ChatGPT to generate this, and then I refined it in these ways. Mm-hmm. So how do we teach our students how to use technology, whatever technology we have, to benefit their ability to do their job, to benefit taking care of other people? That's what our business is, trying to leverage what we have to do things better.
Well, we're in similar era. I graduated high school in 1985. I was in the you can't use your calculator. Yeah. Okay, you can use a calculator, but not these buttons, to you got your phone. Yep. Can you use Google? Do you have to go to the library? How do you cite your source? And this is just probably a big step in leveraging existing information to produce a better result. And businesses are doing it. Students are going to want to learn how to leverage that. Mm-hmm. And we're blazing a trail. You're blazing a trail. Your faculty, the whole, like you said, it's changing so fast. I think Chico is on the cutting edge of really changing quickly. It feels like a small university, but it's not. So I hope that, we continue to grow and learn how to leverage these new steps. Sure.
We will. We got really, really talented faculty and staff that are trying to figure out how to do this best. I have every bit of confidence they're going to be right on the cutting edge of this.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it was miserable, the whole COVID thing, but Chico did a great job navigating through all of that. And now I hope student enrollment, I hope, is on the up, not just virtually, but in person, because people should experience this town and the connections they make here to a community, to each other.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. This is a college experience, I think, unlike any other in the state of California. I love what we do for any number of reasons, right? We are all about student success. We're all about doing great things with our colleagues and making it a great place to work. And we want our region to be fantastic. But if you're a student anywhere in the state and you want to have a true college town experience, this is it, right? Yeah. We're right next to downtown in a community that loves the university and wants to help take care of our students. And you get it at a CSU price. I don't think you get
the cost of living. I mean, we've maintained it. I mean, you can rent an apartment pretty cheaply. Yeah. My kids went off there paying $1,000 a month for like a half a bedroom. I'm just like, Chico, you just nailed it. Honestly, everything you just said, I experienced that. So many of my friends and family. Ross, who's going to be putting this together, is a Chico State grad. Mm-hmm. He was in the media and went on to do great things in news. And we love what he does here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he puts together of this conversation The time flew by, I know, for me.
I had a wonderful time. I appreciate the opportunity a lot.
You're so welcome. I hope people watch. I hope anybody out there, honestly, you said it. If you're, I have 3 kids and one is a senior in high school. And of course he knows Chico, but put Chico State on your list of tour the school. You don't all get to sit down with the president, but if somebody wants to interact with you or your office, if I'm thinking, I want to take a tour of Chico State, who do they call first?
You can always call my office. I don't know the phone number, but you can always send me an email. It comes to my office, presidentoffice@csuchico.edu. If you go to our website and go look for, want to book a tour, you can do it through our website. You do it through Student Affairs. We're going to have a Choose Chico Day sometime later this spring where our admitted students are coming to campus to see what it's like to be a student here. If you come and take a tour of campus, you're going to want to be a student here. You're going to see downtown. You're going to see our beautiful brick buildings, our beautiful facilities, and you're going to feel like this is what I think college is supposed to be like. You're right. This is what college is supposed to be like.
Well, during one of your wellness weeks for your staff, we were able to do one of our team mosaics for you. Maybe you see it in the main building on campus, a huge multi-pixelated photo or picture where everybody painted a square and put it on there.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of our team mosaic.
That's fantastic.
So we're thankful to be a part of the Chico State world. I've been a guest lecturer many times in some of the leadership classes, and it's meant a lot to me.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm sure the students had a wonderful time.
I'm so
having
thankful.
you there.
Well, I'm thankful that you came and joined us. I hope you do again sometime. Maybe we'll do an episode 2.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Anytime you invite me, I'll be here.
I will. So to everyone, we are so thankful to have Steve, I was able to call him, but President Perez in the You Go First studio today. Hope you enjoyed the conversation, and I hope this is a beginning of your experience and really what Chico's all about, what Chico State's about. And if you need to get a hold of him or his office and look at our town, look at this community, I hope you'll do that. Thanks for your leadership of this important university that means so much to all of us locally here, and sharing some of your insights from athletics and how that transfers to how you lead this team.
Yeah, thank you very much. It has been a wonderful place for my wife and I, and my kids have come and visited. We really, really love it here.
All right. Well, we'll come knock on a door and ask to borrow some sugar someday.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right. See you later, everyone out there.
Thanks for listening to another episode of You Go First. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to listen to another episode, you can find us at yougofirst.live, or you can see more about our host, Lane Hensley, on his Instagram at OneDreamChaser. To learn more about his company, Odyssey Teams Inc., go to odysseyteams.com or follow all their social media channels at Odyssey Teams. Thanks again, and we hope that you will go first to share our podcast with a friend or colleague. Now, you go first.